Well, look, here's the thing. Here's what Me Too did to the world, okay? It emboldened women like Amber Heard. All Amber Heard had to do to ruin Johnny Depp's life was to generate allegations. Johnny Depp was not even in court or found guilty of anything or convicted of anything, nothing on his record. He had nothing at all other than a scorned woman going around LA doing magazine interviews saying that Johnny Depp was abusive. That's all she had to do. And Johnny Depp's life was f***ing destroyed. All that woman had to do in this like feminist hellscape that we live in was make shit up for magazines. And he lost everything. The only way a man was able to overturn what Amber Heard was doing, okay, which not every man has access to, not every man has this privilege. Johnny Depp had to hire, I think, 3 lawyers, spend tens of millions of dollars for Johnny Depp to then go back and prove that he did not do these things that Amber Heard was saying. He had to take 3 multi-million-dollar lawyers, drag Amber Heard's sorry ass through court to prove that this shit was f***ing dog shit and that she was actually worse. All she had to do was whisper a few things around LA into a magazine, and he had to spend tens of millions of dollars in court on 3 different lawyers to prove it wasn't real. So to say that we live in an equal world where like women and their empowerment aren't ruining everything and they're with their unearned power aren't being despicable hell hags is dishonest. Absolutely dishonest. The situation with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard was a shining beacon of a microcosm of what has actually happened, the disparity between how men and women are treated. She was believed immediately. Hashtag believe all women. She was believed like straight away. She said a few things to a magazine and everyone was just like, yep, I guess that's 100% true. You're done, Johnny. And Johnny was like, what? She shat in my bed. He then had to spend millions to undo the damage that only a few little words were spoken. You need to tell more women when they come forward with this kind of like made up. It's like, shut the f up. I'm sorry, Amber. You want to say some really serious abuse allegations about Johnny Depp to Vogue magazine? Go to court, okay? If you want to hold Johnny Depp accountable for being an abusive dude, then these little magazine interviews are not the place for this. You go to court. You make a formal complaint. You actually then take these allegations, put evidence to them, and put this on his record. Unless you're willing to do that, shut up, Amber! You can't just play with a man's life for sensationalism. But this whole hashtag Me Too and believe all women bullshit, it emboldened nasty, vindictive pieces of shit, narcissistic women like Amber Heard. Speaking of Manson, you had Evan Rachel Wood who went after Manson during the Me Too movement, and she was such a terrible liar. She didn't even win it during Me Too in LA, and she still couldn't win. And then because she lost, she then went and found other women to lie for her. And before you're like, you're making this up, one of the women came forward and was like, Evan Rachel Wood told me to lie. So I did. They make actual victims look like assholes. It's because women don't care about women. Do you understand? This is what they're doing, right? Women were like, oh, so I can make false allegations, like get anything I want. I can ruin his life and like no one will touch him again. Because if I can't have him, then no one can have him. Cool. Here's some baseless made up shit. Can I have my compensation money, please? And can you ruin his life and throw him away? Thank you very much. Thank you. And then they get found out to be liars. And then that affects the credibility of other women. But these women don't care. They don't care. They think only men don't care about women. No, men care about women a lot, actually, which is why we're so concerned with what your behavior is at the moment. But you have women, actually, who are doing more. They're actively disparaging the credit that women should have if they go to law enforcement or, you know, the judicial systems with these allegations, right? Now people are going to be dubious because it's like, okay, well, we've heard a lot of this, actually. Yeah, we've had, out of the 7 bitches that have come forward, 4 of them, they were lying, actually. And because of the feminist nightmare that we live in, a man with an allegation is effectively dead. He's effectively dead. That's a mark that stays with him, on him, forever. Even if he proves it to be false, y'all still believe it. It's still on him. It's still there.
Depp recorded Amber Turd and she says that she knew that everyone would believe her, not Depp, all while smacking him around.
Boxer Frog, thank you so much for the 5. Yeah, that's the narcissistic female personality.